Change your heart, change your life, change the planet.
Hey everybody, I'm running down the mountain in the almost dark, and it's a very steep road, the old stage road going from Woodford Mountain down into Bennington, and I'm dropping about 2,000 feet over a rubble field of glacial rocks. This road is basically four-wheel drive only, or snowmobile in the winter, and I'm dancing around rocks that I can barely see, but being calm and letting my body do what it knows how to do. Not judging, not fearing, not questioning, just letting my body sense the light, sense the rocks, and letting it do its thing. And I'm watching this. It's such a beautiful experience to just be free and to be hovering above the dark shadows on the ground and not to be afraid of it. And if I fall, that's okay. I fall sometimes running in the light over stuff like this. So I'm just trusting in my body. I'm trusting in my experience. Trusting. And it feels good to be along for this ride in the gentle quiet of the night woods as I cruise down the mountain, trusting that my body will take care of me and that I don't have to control it in these moments, and I don't have to be afraid. I don't have to doubt. I can just let it take its course. I can barely see the ground, and it's fun, but I can see enough. I'm getting enough information that my brain knows what to tell my body to do, and my feet are moving in the right spots as I dance around all the rocks. And I'm not even looking directly down at my feet. I'm looking about 10 to 15 ahead of me, 10 to 15 feet ahead of me as I come down the mountain, so that my brain sees the rocks in the distance and calculates where to put my feet in advance. It calculates my stride length, it calculates my speed, it calculates where my feet are going to be in relation to those rocks as I approach them, so that I don't have to look directly down at my feet, which would keep me from seeing obstacles ahead. This way my brain can make a path through the rocks in advance. So I'm actually, the rock that I'm moving over, I'm not present to. I'm present to the rocks well ahead of me. And it's really more of my brain and my body that are present to them than my conscious experience. It's like me, ooh, we're getting a little bit of light now. The trees are opening up, tiny bit of light. But yeah, it's like I'm just an observer watching TV as I go down the mountain. It's like I'm watching this on the Extreme Sports Network, because I'm not moving slow, I'm moving pretty quick. I've got about half a mile to go, and it's going to get darker and darker, and then I'll be out on pavement and I'll be fine. But I love moments like this. This is such a unique experience for me. Growing up, even well into my 20s and 30s, I was deathly afraid of the dark, especially the woods. I was even afraid of our front yard in the dark. We used to park in our lower driveway, and it's about 200 feet from the driveway to the door, maybe 100 meters. And at night, I would be scared to death to go from my car to the door. I had this fear that something was behind me, that something was chasing me, and it was constant whenever I was outside at night, away from lights. And where I live, there's no town lights. We live in the middle of nowhere, so that darkness would really be all-encompassing. Ooh, I'm getting a tiny bit of a clearing here. I'm gonna get a little bit of a light for her, about 10 seconds. So, as now I can see more clearly, just for a second. So anyway, I was scared to death of the dark, and I would panic and I would sprint every single time I would come home and park my car in the driveway. I would sprint to the door thinking that something was there, feeling this presence, this evil presence that was going to get me, or a bear or a serial killer, something. And now I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm in the Vermont wilderness, the Green Mountain National Forest, miles away from a paved road, miles away from a house. It's dark. Nobody knows I'm up here. I didn't tell anybody where I'm going. And I'm running down through a ridiculously technical trail without being able to see where I'm going. And who knows if there's a bear or if there's a psychopath in the woods. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I've gotten to the point where my brain acknowledges that there might be certain sensations rising in me, but I'm okay with it. I'm calm with it. maybe there is a bear watching me. That's okay. I can maybe have a little fear about that, but it doesn't need to control my behavior and it doesn't need to control my thinking. So I'm just gentle, whatever thoughts arise in me. Even the thought like, oh crap, we're not going to make it out of here in the light. When I was on top of the mountain, it was already starting to get dark. And I'm like, oh crap, I got 3 miles of crazy downhill to go in the dark now. And there was a little bit of fear, and it's like, oh, that's okay. Just allow that fear to be there. And just let your body do what it knows how to do. And right now that I'm back in the woods again, it's even darker. I can barely see the rocks at all now. You just see tiny little glints on them. Some of them are moist from the humidity. Anyway, it's just fascinating. When you practice mindfulness, when you practice self-compassion, how the things that used to scare you, the things that used to control you and overwhelm you, lose their grip. And now I could spend the night out here in the woods and I'd be okay and I would have a really nice time. I might get bitten by bugs, but other than that, I wouldn't panic. I wouldn't freak out. I wouldn't sprint or give up or have a total panic attack, which is what I would do in the past. I've surrendered to these feelings. I've surrendered to the experience. And it's beautiful. It's calm. And now I can hear the crickets and the peepers in a nearby swamp. I'm getting close to the bottom. So mindfulness works even for people that have intense phobias, even for people that have intense anxiety or social anxiety, depression like myself. Man, am I sensitive. And I've spent so much of my life in a panic, in a constant state of anxiety, crippled, paralyzed, unable to act. And now I find myself able to approach the scariest things with gentleness and peace and a sense of clarity. And that's so extraordinary. I'm so grateful that I've started on this path that has truly transformed my life. And I hope that my videos have value for you in a similar way and allow you to get some peace and freedom in your experiences. Okay. Aha, I see the paved road. I'm almost there. I made it down safely. I didn't trip once. Totally surrendered. Not even paying attention to the ground. Just talking to the camera, looking at the lens as my brain is making its calculations. And here I am, safely out of the woods. Okay, you guys. I love you. Bye. Hey everybody, it's Tim Van Orden, and I can't believe that summer has gone by so quickly. It's already time for my August reading list. So come on over to the whiteboard and I'll show you what I read in the month of August.